All right. Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. So, we did our review of the 2006 Royal Rumble match the other day, but it's time to really get into the nitty gritty of things. Now, last we left off with Jeff Hardy. He unfortunately had lost his opportunity after being attacked, found unconscious at the end of a stairwell, so he was not able to capture the WWE Championship at Survivor Series. He was able to capture it at Armageddon, though, and that is a match I reviewed a couple years ago on the channel. If you haven't already, go check out that review. But now it's time for a rematch. Can Edge get back the WWE Championship? Excuse me, let's find out. I'm, of course, talking about Jeff Hardy versus Edge at Royal Rumble 2009. Now, of course, as always, I'm not professional. Not a professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I had a pretty alright time with this match. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm gonna be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. Kind of how we got here. Like I mentioned, Jeff finally was able to capture the WWE Championship at Armageddon. He wasn't able to get the job done because he wasn't there at Survivor Series. Well, he was, but he was taken out of the match. You get what I mean. But now Edge is gunning for it. Vicky Guerrero has made the match for the WWE Championship. Now, logistically, and I'm also saying this because Vicky does interfere in this match. Funnily enough, she also interfered in Edge's World Championship match last year at the Rumble when he fought Rey Mysterio, which is a match I reviewed way back when. If you haven't already, go check out that review. But logistically, he shouldn't Vicky, who's general manager, but who's obviously showing this favoritism towards Edge, giving him these matches, is married to Edge at this point in storyline. Or I think they're still engaged, about to be married in storyline. Shouldn't that had constitute a conflict of interest? But then again, if WWE had an HR department, they're doing a pretty lax job considering all the other crazy stuff that's happened in WWE over the years. But but logistically, you would probably be like, huh. That's probably because it's not like she's hiding her favoritism, but that's a question for another time. But something else that's been happening to Jeff is all these weird, strange accidents have been going on. Jeff was also in storyline in a car accident, and he had the pyro hit him on SmackDown not too long ago. Before this, had the pyro and had to be carried out on a stretcher. Now, the car accident I totally forgot about because I was watching at this time. But the pyro I remember. I told you who some time ago I did the SmackDown Kid discussion video. If you haven't already, go check out that video. But growing up as a SmackDown kid, I used to watch SmackDown just about every weekend, and sometimes it would be at home, sometimes it would be at my grandma's house because me and my sister stayed over a lot. I remember watching that pyro live, and of course, me being a huge Jeff Hardy fan when I was much younger, I was crushed. I was like, "Oh no, what happened to Jeff Hardy? He got hit with the pyro." I remember being so distraught. The audience was distraught. So, who is behind all these attacks on Jeff Hardy? Now, how Jeff Hardy thinks it's Edge. A lot of people think it's Edge. Edge, of course, has a track record. He's not always the most reliable person. He's willing to take any shortcut that he can. And Edge, however, denies it. It's saying that. And I'm glad you're okay, Jeff. The accident was you becoming WWE champion. Damn. But ultimately, Edge denies being involved with anything. And truth be told, oh yeah, you're supposed to go, if you go along with the story, you're not supposed to believe him. But at the same time, I can't think of too many times where Edge has tried to murder his opponents. Not that I can think of. Edge has done a lot of pretty sleazy, pretty underhanded, depraved stuff. Attempted murder usually doesn't come up on the list for Edge, which admittedly is kind of surprising, especially him being the rated R superstar. The most of the stuff he's gotten up to has been pretty PG-13, and hell, even in PG-13, there's some murder sometimes. But but Edge has denied it. But Jeff is going to go at Edge nevertheless. But also there's the threat of how will this affect Jeff Hardy mentally? They kind of refer to it on commentary, like Jr. brings it up how he had the interview with Jeff Hardy not too long ago, talking about his mental state going into this match, and how and if he can fully be into this match considering everything that's been going on. I also do want to point out that JR and Taz of the commentary team, this was around that time where they were testing out different like commentary teams, like you had Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole on Raw, I believe, around this time, and then JR and Taz for SmackDown. JR and Taz, they're an alright duo. Taz kind of fills the role of Jerry Lawler being kind of the one with the funny lines and quips and the antics, and pinging off of Jim Ross. Thankfully, he's not as obnoxious. That's good. But also, I guess, a precursor of things to come with them now being both in AEW. In fact, JR, apparently, I just saw the highlights, apparently just returned tonight on Dynamite. But yeah, it's just interesting little footnote. In terms of commentary, they're not overbearing, but they're not a very. I feel like they're not a super memorable duo. If that makes any sense. But nevertheless, getting into the actual match, starting with what I liked, like pretty good action between the two. Edge and Jeff Hardy are two people who have worked each other quite a bit. Not too much that I can think of one on one against each other, but they've been in several matches against each other, whether mainly Hardys versus Edge and Christians, and oftentimes the Dudleys involved. But yeah, so they have pretty decent chemistry with one another, so they're able to put on a pretty decent performance against each other. There's Plunder, or of course, this match is worth mentioning. This match is no disqualification, so you got the weaponry. You got Jeff Hardy diving off a ladder, doing the Jeff Hardy dive onto Chavo Guerrero, who does interfere. Both Chavo and Vicky do get involved. Also, Jeff takes out Chavo, who is getting involved early in the match. Earlier, ooh, earlier in the match. My goodness, I couldn't talk there for a second. But Chavo was getting involved earlier in the match, so Jeff Hardy took him out, and is still going after Edge in the match. But pretty decent back and forth between the two. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, the fans want tables. They don't quite get them. You get the announce table, but that's about it. They do kind of shut up though when Jeff Hardy pulls out the ladder, so that's good. At least Jeff was able to satiate them in that regard. But also pretty cool spot where Edge like takes the uh he padding from the turnbuckle, to have the exposed steel, and then Jeff goes for, I forget what the move is, where he hits the corner and then does like the drop kick into the corner. Edge catches him and puts him face first on the thing though. Oh, that was kind of a cool spot. But Vicky, of course, shows up, gets involved. Jeff kind of kicks her off, and then Matt Hardy shows up. He shows up with a chair, kind of backs Vicky into a corner, or then hands Jeff a chair, says, "Hang on, I'm gonna get you another chair," or goes to set up Edge for the concerto, and then wham! Turns on Jeff, nails Jeff with the chair. Matt has turned on his brother once again. Crazy how we finally reviewed the last of the 2001 pay-per-views, and Jeff and Matt were having tensions back then, and lo and behold, almost a decade later, they're doing that again. So Matt turns on Jeff once again, and but they kind of treat the other one like it doesn't exist in canon. They only really reference this one. But Matt turns on Jeff, pretty much hands Edge the match, and Edge pretty much picks up the win from there. So Edge and Vicky are happy. I do like how the commentary goes quiet for so long after the actual turn. Like they react in the moment, like JR says, "What the hell?" But then they go silent for a while, kind of to let it soak in, um and to really hype up this moment, and they do add that kind of oomph to the moment, and kind of the exclamation point in a way. So that's good on them there. But yeah, so Matt Hardy, he has officially turned on his brother Jeff, and as we as will be revealed in recent weeks, Matt was the one on at least initially who was responsible for the attacks. Now, we're going to get into that more because spoiler for around WrestleMania time, we're going to look at Matt versus Jeff at WrestleMania 25. But Matt claims responsibility. They kind of walk it back later on once Matt turns face again and helps out Jeff. But for the time being, Matt takes responsibility for everything that's happened to Jeff, including his house burning down and his dog dying, which did happen in real life, but they played up in the storyline. But yeah, so all of Jeff's accidents were because of Matt's, and I guess this is a good way to segue into what I didn't really like as much. For this segment, like the turn was interesting; it adds that interesting element to this match, but the crowd goes kind of mild. Like, hey, historically, at least the WWE crowd, things were slightly different in TNA. Maybe I'll cover the broken Matt Hardy saga in TNA someday. I'm sure I will eventually because come on, you kind of have to. But the crowd out historically in WWE never want to see the Hardy Boys fight. We want to see them as a team. We like to see them together. We want to see them together. Or almost whenever they feuded, it didn't really go over super well. Like the crowd does not want to see the Hardy Boys fight, and yet here they are doing it again. But um, yeah, the crowd you could tell wasn't super into it. There was kind of that stunned silence, but a lot of it was kind of like, really? Or like, what? That kind of thing. Maybe not the full reaction that WWE wanted, I think is what I'm getting at. The other thing was way too much Guerreros, that being Chavo and Vicky, them interfering way too much. Kind of brought things down for me, especially towards the end. Now, I think that more so played into my earlier argument of logistically, Vicky should probably be, because here's her blatantly interfering. Again, wasn't the first time, wouldn't be the last time. I'm her blatantly interfering when she's supposed to be in a position of power to show heavy favoritism towards Edge. Edge, like, hey, but it did get a little annoying and a bit excessive at times in the match. Edge is not as excessive as other like manager interference spots that I would see and that we would see in other matches, but it did get a bit excessive there. But ladies and gentlemen, that I think is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the match, my review. Do you like the match? Do you like my review of the match? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.